Colton and the Cursed Implants. Today's episode is brought to you by the letter T, the letter B, and the letter M. Colton sat on the grimy curb of a dimly lit alley, flipping his greasy, gray and brown hair with a dramatic flare. His I Love Lose shirt stretched tightly over his enormous belly. His beady eyes, framed by smudged black rectangular glasses, darted back and forth as he clutched two cracked cell phones. He knew the trolls were everywhere, watching him, waiting for him, and constantly stalking him. Nibbler! Nibbler! They're after me, Nibbler! They're after me! Colton directed his paranoia to the only one who would listen. His scrawny, flea-ridden dog. The little mutt cowered as Colton waved a crusty cheeseburger bun at him before stuffing it into his own mouth. These freaking stalkers! They won't leave me alone! Not even for a second! Colton smashed his thumbs onto his phone screen, dialing 911 for the 12th time that day.
911, what's your emergency?
You listen here, lady. You listen right now. Colton screamed furiously. Spittle was flying everywhere. I'm being cyber harassed. They're watching me through my microwave again.
Oh dear, that sounds serious, especially considering you live on the street and have no electricity, Mr. Colton.
Stop. Don't call me that. You're a public servant. You don't do that to me.
Oh, I'm sorry about that, Colton.
Why? I said stop. Why? Why would you do that? Colton howled like a banshee and hurled his phone at the dumpster. He panted heavily before composing himself. He needed a change, something drastic, something that would make the trolls cower in fear. Then it hit him. Breast implants. Yes. Big old bazongas. He'd be unstoppable. Nobody would dare question his power. Plus, he could charge even more as a street entrepreneur. Colton set his plan into motion. He scammed, he schemed, and he worked the streets harder than he ever had before. He even managed to convince a clueless old man to rent him a tiny business space, which he promptly converted into the Woodshed, an emporium of man love for money. Unfortunately, for his landlord, the business was less love and more hygiene violation, as within a week he was evicted for, as the landlord put it, turning my shop into a back alley brothel for the desperate and the blind. But as far as Colton was concerned, the big money had already rolled in, just enough to get his precious implants. Unknown to Colton, the legendary Troll Brigade Mafia had been monitoring his every move. These internet superheroes and protectors of common sense and memes had a new vision, a new mission. Make Colton's implants surveillance devices for their next great prank. The mighty Gardener Earth guy, the hero of horticulture, assembled a fine crew. For this mission, he would have but 3 fellow heroes, the Queen Bee, Clampus McCann, and CMC. They were all at their stations preparing. The Queen Bee adjusted her glasses and glanced at her laptop and clipboard. Her printer unleashed a mighty stack of flyers, ready to warn the world about Colton. Clampus sat in his workshop as he prepared the untraceable, gamma-radiated, black powder firearm. On the other side of the ship, CMC, the tech wizard, fine-tuned the implants, stuffing them with tracking devices, ultra-sensitive recorders, and a custom AI chip programmed to whisper, Colton, 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 directly into Colton's subconscious. The plan was simple. Infiltrate the clinic, hijack the surgery, and turn Colton into a walking surveillance hub. Under cover of night, the TBM ship, Romano 1, hovered over the dimly lit plastic surgery center. CMC quickly disabled the alarm system with a well-timed Yo Mama joke uploaded into the security firmware, causing a mainframe to blue screen. Clampus, dressed in an oversized nurse's uniform he borrowed from the thrift store, unlocked the back door. Geg rallied his heroes.
Get in position. Colton is literally about to walk in.
Geg, now disguised as the surgeon, donned a lab coat 3 sizes too small and a face mask that smelled faintly of his signature compost. He wielded his surgical instruments of choice, a slightly rusty pair of hand pruners and a roll of duct tape. CMC worked quickly, replacing the standard silicone implants with the Troll Tech 9000s ensuring that each was wired with live GPS tracking, a 24-hour audio feed, and a special feature that would activate "Never Gonna Give You Up" at full volume whenever Colton used a racist slur. Gag's assistant, with a duffel bag full of veterinary-grade tranquilizers, strutted into the waiting room, clipboard in hand.
Alrighty. We ordered the budget boob job. Just follow me.
Colton stumbled into the dimly lit, nearly dark surgery room. Hello? This is Mr. Wood. I have an appointment for the Super Pam package. Are you guys ready for me?
Yes, Mr. Wood. We've been expecting you. Please sit down so we can begin.
Colton flopped his whale-like body into the chair and laid back. Then he saw a familiar face, who leaned in and plunged a horse-sized syringe full of tranquilizers into his thigh.
Nighty-night, big guy.
Colton barely had time to shriek, let alone call 911 before his vision blurred. The decades-expired drugs were coursing through his body at a rapid pace. You're my stalkers. I'll call 911. Colton slurred his words before collapsing into the chair. Gag cracked his knuckles. He knew it was time to begin.
All right, team. Let's give this man some memorable melons.
And just like that, the most unqualified plastic surgery in history began. Hours later, Colton awoke groggy and sore in an unfamiliar alley. He looked down on his newly acquired chest melons. They were huge. They were glorious. He was excited. And then, out of nowhere, the voices began.
Colton, you land in a floating portalet. Colton, you called 911 again? Hello, call alert. Fuck.
Colton shrieked in a panic and started slapping his chest. What in the hell? What's in there? What is that? Who is that?
We're always watching you. Colton.
Then he realized what was really happening. The trolls were inside his body. They were inside his implants. They were inside him, taunting him, mocking him. Colton stormed out to the clinic, screaming, smashing his phones against the pavement. But it got worse. He heard laughter. A ship cloaked above him. TBM was watching from Romana 1. The whole team was watching Colton from the command center. They were rolling with laughter as the implant sent them every sound Colton made, every conversation he had, every humiliating moment was all property of the Troll Brigade Mafia. Colton lost it and started running. He flailed. He screeched. He screamed. He kicked at random trash cans, and then he dialed 911 for the 36th time in the day.
Stop the 911. What's your emergency?
It's my stalkers. They got me this time. They put bugs in my chest and the trackers, and they hacked my body, and they're bugs, and it is a tracking device, and they know where I am, and they know what I'm doing, and it's the Troll Brigade, it's a TBM, and they're my stalkers, and I've called about them for 10 years.
Oh no, Colton. That sounds awful, Colton.
Stop using my name. My name is Mr. Wood, and you will call me Mr. Wood. That is not my name. You will stop using that name when you talk to me. As Colton collapsed in a seething mess of sweat and rage, TBM made their final move. They rescued Sweet Nibbler, beaming the little dog onto Romana 1, where he was given a warm bath, delicious food, and a loving new home. The once miserable pup wagged his tail for the first time in many years. Meanwhile, depressed and alone, Colton, still implant cursed and destitute, continued his life on the streets, now with breasts full of government-grade surveillance. His rage was eternal, humiliation was never-ending, and TBM, they laughed their way all the way past the stars. The end, or maybe the beginning.